Hi, this is James from Triathlon Coaching UK. I might be looking a little bit tired today. There is a reason for that. About 3 o'clock this morning, my 4-year-old son decided that he wanted a bed partner and made his way up to our bedroom, but then decided he didn't want to go back to sleep, so kept everybody awake. So that was very much appreciated. But it did make me think perhaps it'd be worthwhile to do a short video just discussing the importance of sleep to training and performance. Now, if we think about the key things that lead to the progression in your performance, obviously being consistent with your training is one. Good dietary habits, getting your fueling right during training, refueling afterwards, good nutritional strategies during training, again, general hydration on a day-to-day basis, but also recovery. And clearly, sleep is an integral part of the recovery and adaptive process. Now, with insufficient sleep, you're missing out on recovery time, basically. The training stress that you get from your swim, bike, run, strength and conditioning workouts, that creates the stimulus for adaptation, but the physiological changes, the adaptation that we get, occurs during recovery time. There's a lot of evidence that suggests that insufficient sleep will affect things like your glycogen resynthesis, the fuel that we use for training. Not enough sleep may raise the stress hormone cortisol, and that could potentially contribute to increased weight gain. Not only does it affect your performance negatively, but it can also have an impact on your health. Insufficient sleep can mean that you are a little bit more susceptible to upper respiratory tract infections, things like coughs, colds, sore throats, those kind of things, particularly during the winter months. And if you do pick up any of these kind of infections, that clearly can have an impact on your training consistency. You might need to miss a few days of training whilst you're not very well. In terms of being consistent with your training, if you've only had about 4 hours sleep the night before, your motivation to train might be affected. You know, if you've got some threshold run intervals planned for the end of the day, but you missed out on some sleep, you might not be overly motivated to work hard on those intervals. Most triathletes tend to be quite sort of time pressured. They've got to fit training in around sort of work and family commitments. And again, if you're feeling pretty tired at work, you might not be as productive as you normally are. You might not be able to leave the office on time, and you might miss your key window, as it were, to get a training session in. So there's overwhelming evidence that kind of suggests that insufficient sleep will affect sports performance. So in this instance, if you snooze, you don't lose. So it's about trying to make it a priority. You know, if you were to see a nutritional supplement, for example, that advertised something that would reduce the chemicals associated with stress, something that would increase the hormones to facilitate recovery and improve your performance, you might well buy it. But sleep actually does all of those things. So do try to prioritise it as much as you can. Now, in reality, it can be difficult to get that sort of 8 hours sleep per night that we're told that we all need. And as a triathlete, you do need it. Just as you need more calories to fuel the muscles during training, you also need more sleep to recover. But clearly, work can get in the way, family commitments. You know, it's often one of the things that we have to sacrifice in order to fit training. You might need to get up particularly early or go to bed particularly late, but do try to make it a priority. It is beneficial. There's a lot of evidence to suggest it will improve your performance, but it will also affect your ability to train consistently in the build up to those key events.